Oh hey YouTube, what's really good? I'm in Vivid Color and this is going to be my very first team builder / team prep video for week 1 of the PGBL. My week 1 opponent are the CLAREMONT Cleffas, and the Cleffas are coached by the Curious Cleffa. The Curious Cleffa's link is going to be in the description down below. Please go subscribe to them and show them some love. I want you to be able to watch our battle from both perspectives. So we're going to start off by breaking down every Pokemon that they have access to, and specifically the team I think they will bring. So every Pokemon the Cleffas drafted is right up here, and the team I think they will bring are the first 6 Pokemon listed, those being Mega Blastoise, Excadrill, Jinx, Sceptile, Tapu Koko, and Arcanine. The 2 Pokemon that I think 100% will come no matter what are Mega Blastoise and Tapu Koko. Mega Blastoise is a bulky water type that has access to Rapid Spin and puts out a ton of damage, so it functions relatively well against my team, and my team also has, I would say, a little bit of trouble breaking it down. To kind of compensate for that, I'm going to try and hazard stack as much as possible, trust me. Tapu Koko is a fast electric type, and those perform traditionally well against rain teams. On top of that, it just has a lot of raw power. Tapu Koko also has access to fairy type moves, which are good against Kingdra, and it has access to Grass Knot, which can actually have a non-0% chance of OHKOing Mega Swampert, which is terrifying. One of the things I'm really afraid of is a Tapu Koko holding a Focus Sash so that it can live my hit even though I outspeed it and OHKO me with a Grass Knot. I'm terrified of this. I think it's really niche. I think it's probably not going to happen, but I'm going to play around it most likely. Tapu Koko also has Taunt, and part of my strategy this week is hazard stacking, so that also shuts me down relatively hard. That being said, other 4 Pokemon I think they're going to bring are going to be Jinx, because Jinx has the Dry Skin ability, which makes me think twice about clicking any of my water type stab moves. If it can just absorb my attack, then I'm doing nothing. It gets to switch in for free, potentially eat up a hit if it's holding a Focus Sash, and then get off a Lovely Kiss, which is really, really bad for me. Sceptile looks relatively attractive because it is extremely fast and is one of the only Pokemon my opponent has access to that can actually clean one-shot Mega Swampert. No questions asked. I think a Giga Drain or a Leaf Storm both do well over 100% damage to even the bulkiest Swampert that I can bring. Arcanine is, I believe, going to be the Cleffa's Intimidate user. They have access to Arcanine and Crocodile as Intimidators, but I think that Arcanine is a little bit stronger here. It's a little bit more diverse. It has access to Intimidate, Will-O-Wisp, Extreme Speed, and Wild Charge, meaning that it can actually put in a little bit of work against Pelipper. So I think Arcanine is going to be the choice. It also kind of rounds off the Water, Fire, Grass core really, really well. And it's just a generally bulky and diverse Pokemon, and diverse Pokemon are terrifying. Whew, okay. Excadrill is, I believe, going to be my opponent's Rock Setter. My opponent has access to 3 Rock Setters, but Excadrill is far and away the superior option in my opinion. Lycanroc is fast rocks with Taunt, but seeing as Tapu Koko can Taunt, Lycanroc doesn't really add much to the equation here. Its rocks are faster, sure, but it's also a much frailer Pokemon and doesn't really do much outside of setting up rocks. It doesn't OHKO Pelipper, it doesn't OHKO, I don't even think Fire Fang from Lycanroc OHKOs my Fortress, so Lycanroc is relatively weak in this matchup. Excadrill can deal with Clefable. It can soak up any electric type attacks that I might have that are aimed at Blastoise. I just think that it is the better Pokemon here. So the other remaining 6 Pokemon being Lycanroc Midday Form, Crocodile, Suicune, Regice, Komodo, and Manectric, I just don't think any of these have enough merit. I could be wrong, and Suicune could potentially replace Excadrill or Arcanine to get rid of one more weakness to water on the team and just add another bulky water type, but that seems a little irrelevant seeing as you know I have to be prepping for bulky water types since your Mega is Mega Blastoise. Other than that, Regice could maybe come in to try and soak up some special hits from Kingdra because of its massive special defense stat, but the rest of the team I think is kind of invalid. Crocodile is strong, but I don't think great here. Manectric is basically a worse Tapu Koko in this situation, and Komodo seems super invalid because almost everything on my team outspeeds it, in the rain at least. One-shots it, and also I just have a Clefable, so I think that the Komodo is not a bringable Pokemon. Is bringable a word? It's not a bringable Pokemon. So I'm gonna take a quick drink and then we're going to break down the team that I'm going to be bringing. Whew, we have our mascot up here. All I do is Will-O-Wisp and Prison Nightshade. Do you get it? Anyways, okay. So the first Pokemon we're bringing is obviously going to be Lotus the Pelipper. This is the pretty standard Pelipper set that you would see on the OU ladder. It's Scald, Hurricane, U-turn, Roost. It's bulky, it can eat up hits, which is kind of surprising, right? I'm pretty sure from the calcs I ran that this Pelipper can live a wild charge from a standard Arcanine set, and that blows my mind. It also has access to U-turn, so basically this Pelipper is not really here to do damage. It's really just here to set up the rain and maybe Hurricane at an opportune moment, and then either slow U-turn or just hard switch out into threats or checks. I think it is going to be the absolute all-star of my season because I built my entire team around it. So the next Pokemon in line is Phelps, the Mega Swampert. This Pokemon is incredibly fast in the rain. Its base attack stat reaches 150, so it's going to hit really, really hard. And I just brought Waterfall, Earthquake, Ice Punch, and Power Up Punch. Ice Punch I brought because it actually one-shots the Sceptile, easy, done. Power Up Punch I brought specifically to sort of increase its ability to wall break late game. I can Power Up Punch something and then just probably sweep through the rest of the team. And the other two moves are pretty standard. I could run Aqua Tail, but it's a 10 power increase for a lack in 10% accuracy, and Waterfall has a flinch rate, so I think Waterfall is just strictly better here. Fairy Tail, the Clefable, I think I'm trying to do a little too much with this Clefable because the Clefable set is Stealth Rock, Wish, Aromatherapy, Moonblast. So, I guess this is gonna be a test run for how much utility you can put in one Pokemon and it actually work. I don't think this is ideal. Ideally, I would have probably like -1 slot on my team plus Garchomp. The Garchomp would have Stealth Rocks, and then the Clefable would have an open slot, probably Protect. But this is what we're doing. It's Magic Guard, so we're not going to take residual damage. It's leftover. It's kind of like bulk is spread out between special and physical defense. And if the Komo-o is brought, you can guarantee that it's going to die to a single Moonblast, unless it's Assault Vest, in which case it's not. The next Pokemon we have is Spout, the Kingdra. This Kingdra is going to take Souls 100%. When I drafted this, I thought that picking up Pelipper and Kingdra, even though Kingdra was an RU pick or an UU or NU pick, I don't know, Pelipper was a low, or Kingdra was a low tier pick, Pelipper was a high tier pick. I think that this team makes Kingdra a monster. After doing calcs, there are not many Pokemon on my opponent's team that are not two-shot by either Surf and Hydro Pump, or Surf, Hydro Pump, or Draco Meteor. A lot of Pokemon are just one-shot by Surf and Hydro Pump in the rain, and Draco Meteor kind of chunks everything that either resists or is just immune. I think Kingdra is going to be an all-star, and one of the things I remember reading or kind of like looking up when I got into this draft league was that you don't always need to bring an entire team to check your opponent's team. Like, you shouldn't try to check every threat they have. You should try to present unbeatable threats of your own. So that's what I'm trying to do with the Kingdra and the Mega Swampert here. Raid is the fortress, and this is like a relatively standard fortress, except it has Toxic Spikes instead of Spikes or Stealth Rock. That's because I wanted to hazard stack as much as possible. I have another Pokemon to set up the Spikes, and then on top of that, we have Rapid Spin, Gyro Ball, and Volt Switch. So the Volt Switch combos really nicely with Pelipper's U-turn. It gives me a Volt Turn core. They're both slow, so I can take a hit and then switch out into checks or counters or just anything that can set up, and it seems really, really fantastic that they have that kind of synergy. The rain also makes it to where Fortress basically does not have a weakness, and it also just has a lot of really, really good resistances and is a monster on the physical defense side. Gyro Ball, I think, is going to be all right. If CLEFFAS brings something like the Lycanroc, then Gyro Ball does a lot of work against that, or just in general against faster threats. The next Pokemon is Childish. Childish, the Chestnut. This Chestnut is actually specially defensive because I acknowledge there was a lack of special defense on my team. Originally, I had planned on having my Clefable be full special defense invested, but I don't think that was necessarily the best route to take. So instead of pumping all of the EVs into physical defense like most people do with Chestnut, I decided to go for a fully special build. Spikes, Leech Seed, Roar, Drain Punch. Roar stops me from getting set up on as much as possible. Leech Seed for sort of like alternative recovery. I could have put Synthesis here, but seeing as my opponent doesn't have a grass type other than Sceptile, I wanted to have access to Leech Seed because it's really spammable and it makes them have to switch out. Spike so that I can hazard stack more. And then Drain Punch is just, I think, the more consistent of the two physical attacks I could have put on Chestnut. It was between Drain Punch and Wood Hammer, and I thought about Wood Hammer just because of Blastoise, but I think that Mega Blastoise is going to be manageable with other things on my team. This is the team I'm going to be bringing. Please let me know what you think about the team I'm bringing. Should I have changed my team up? Should I have brought something different? Am I mispredicting on my opponent's team? let me know. And if you enjoy this content and you are so hyped for this battle, please go ahead and leave a like on this video. If you're new here, please go ahead and consider clicking that subscribe button, because realistically, all that's gonna happen is you're gonna see my face a little bit more often. And let's be serious, now more than ever, that's a great thing, because we're bringing quality, competitive content to the channel every single week. Team builders, battles, I might even do like play of the week breakdowns. I don't know, man, I'm just super excited. So that being said, I'm kind of done here and I gotta leave. Bye.